So I made a comment yesterday, and Detroit Lions fans on Twitter didn't like it. I refused to call it X. They didn't like it. And that was, we got y'all, this is crazy to me, but I saw on Twitter that there's a former Detroit Lion that he wants to come back to the NFL for the remainder of the season. Now, we've talked about this before, but this is coming from Ian Rappaport. This is from yesterday. Says, QB Teddy Bridgewater tells Ed Rapsheet and Tom Pelissero he plans to return to the NFL after coaching alma mater to the state title. Teddy Bridgewater won a state title a couple days ago. He wants to come back. He said in the article, we'll see how these next 2 weeks play out. Might be signing with an NFL team, then returning to coach high school football in February. So he got that little itch that he needs scratching. So the question that I have for you is, would you welcome a Teddy Bridgewater return to the Detroit Lions? Or are you content with Hendon Hooker? Now, I put this on Twitter yesterday, and I'm one of them guys, man. I'm not spiteful. I'm not resentful. Well, maybe. But I'm super petty. And I'm one of the guys that feeds off of, what's one of the dudes, man? I think even though It is a clown, so that might be the perfect reference because people refer to me as a clown because of my opinion. But never seen the movie It, never read the books It, but it feeds off of fear. If you're not scared of it, it has no power. Same thing with a troll. So maybe I'm a reverse troll. I don't know. But when people keep talking stupid to me, I enjoy it. I soak it up, and I'm like Captain America. I can do this all day. And my point is, I mentioned yesterday, let me paint the scenario. We're in, and I want you to honestly answer this question. Lions get a bye week. They get a bye week. They get the first seed. Now, I put this out there, and I got reamed because apparently I'm putting stuff into the universe, right? So this is a hypothetical question. Injuries happen in the NFL. We all know that if Jared Goff goes down, our season is over. We lost all of that on defense, and we still got a chance at the Super Bowl because of our quarterback and our offense, but our quarterback is the captain of that ship. So here's my scenario, and this is a safe space. Whatever your answer is, it's okay. First quarter, NFC divisional round. Lions are at home. Jared Goff is sacked. He gets concussed. He's ruled out. Will not return. Lions need to make it to the NFC title game. Jared Goff will clear concussion protocol. He's fine. He's fine, but under the NFL rules, he cannot come back into that game. But he's fine. He'll clear. He'll be back for the NFC title game. The score is 0-0 with 11:41 left in the first quarter. Do you have confidence that Hendon Hooker could win that game? There's no wrong answer. I would prefer somebody else. I would prefer, yes, when Hendon Hooker played the fourth quarter of the other game, when he came in the blowout against whatever team that was, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe it was, he went 3 for 4. He came in, played very well. I would not believe in him to win that game. I would feel much, much better with a veteran presence. That's just me. Hendon you're talking about essentially a rookie taking us in. Now, if he did, it'd be the greatest story of all time. Here's my point. If Teddy Bridgewater wanted to come back to the Detroit Lions, now I don't know how we can make that work with Hendon Hooker being our number 2 quarterback. I don't know if we can demote him to emergency. I have no idea how that would work. But if you told me that Teddy Bridgewater at the beginning of the season would be available at the end of the season, I would be like, yes, here's my philosophy. Teddy Bridgewater could come in. We don't need him over the next 2 weeks. Jared Goff would be just fine. We play Jared Goff against the Chicago Bears. We play Jared Goff against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's say Minnesota loses 1. We win 2. They need to be, or that game against the Minnesota Vikings is irrelevant. We've already locked up the NFC North. We've already locked up the first seed. Now we need Jared Goff and the rest of the starters are sitting. At this point, it doesn't matter. Teddy Bridgewater can get all the practice that he need in that 18th game of the season, ironically against the team that drafted him. I'm welcoming this all day. I do not have the same faith that you might have in Hendon Hooker. Not to say that down the line he could do that, he couldn't, or he might be able to do that. But right now, if you told me that I had to trust Hendon Hooker in a divisional matchup to take us to the NFC title game, I'd have zero faith in that. Well, I wouldn't say zero. I would say about 20%. Even though Teddy Bridgewater hasn't played in a year, I still got more faith in him than I do Hendon Hooker. It is what it is, man. Like I said, this is a safe space. There's no judgment, and you can have your opinion. But if Teddy Bridgewater wanted to come back to the Detroit Lions for a Super Bowl run, would you say yes or would you say no? I would say yes as well. I'm going to tell you another reason too. We owe Teddy Bridgewater. We completely blew that game at the end of the season last year. We owe him. We owe him. If you told me that he could come to the team, and this ain't even really about nostalgia or, but if you told me he could come back and, hey, man, we really blew it last year, come on back, man. We got it. We got it this year. You know what I'm saying? I would welcome him back. That's just me. But let me know in the comments, man. Teddy Bridgewater, if you wanted to come back to the Detroit Lions, even if that meant somehow demoting Hendon Hooker to the emergency, I believe you can still have 3 on the roster, but a lot of people don't like to use that for an extra roster spot, and that might be a thing that we need to use that for a roster spot, and that's where the issue could come in. Let me know, would you take TB back in a Detroit Lions uniform?